From 1920 to 1970, this quarry was mined for Carboniferous sandstone. The remains of this abandoned lake still lie at the top of this large hill in northern England, and we were lucky enough to go overnight fishing to find out what lived in this mysterious piece of water.
We are heading up and up and up into what feels like the middle of nowhere. But apparently at the end of this road, there's the old quarry. We're definitely close now. I can see the rocky cliffs in the distance. Yeah, this is it. Oh wow, what a ridiculous lake.
After arriving at the water's edge, we first took a walk round and looked for signs of fish.
I'm actually quite scared standing near the edge. I don't want to stand too close. It's a long way down and that water looks quite deep. But on first impressions, it seems like there's some patches of weed, large open body of water, and then some shallow areas too. I haven't seen any fish, and to be honest, it's hard to know what sort of fish somewhere like this would hold. We'll see. We just got to try and find them. Let's just keep exploring, try and sort of locate some fish, and if we find them, then we'll set up our fishing rods. Plenty of bird life. The birds are making a racket constantly. There's two dark shapes there and some bubbles coming up. And something just jumped just there. That was quite big. The size of that ripple. Oh, this is exciting. This is so exciting. The higher that sun gets, the more sun gets on the water, whatever fish that are in here are going to be warming up. They'll be nearer to the surface. Yeah, we should get a better sight of what's in here a bit later. I've never seen a lake with cliffs like this. We must be 40 foot up. Obviously we won't be able to fish from here. We're going to have to fish from the flatter area over there and then cast our rods over. Yeah, I wouldn't want to try and like reel a fish up from this side. Physically impossible. You have to have a drop net or something.
Before targeting the bigger fish we had seen on our walk, I grabbed my spinning rod and made a quick cast.
Oh, no way! I've got one on the spinner already. What is it going to be though? It must be a predator of some sort. What is it? It's a trout. Wow, look at that fish. A brown trout on a spinner straight away. What a start. Well, there's brown trout in here, that's for sure. Now we've got to find out if there's anything bigger.
Because we were going to be staying overnight, we set up base camp. Our shelters would also give us some shade from the hot sun. It was now time to try for the larger fish we had seen earlier. However, this would need some preparation if we were to stand a good chance of catching.
Got a bucket of pellets, some crumbed up boilies. I'm going to chuck in some bait off of here, down onto the spot, down there. Oh yeah, there we go. Screwing the bank sticks into pretty much stone underneath. These bank sticks are so sharp, they go through granite. Nicely wonky as usual. So my three rods are gonna go here. I think I'm gonna place them over to the far side. One's gonna go over there, middle rod's gonna go straight out, and then the third rod's gonna go on the spot where we can actually see the bottom. Let's get them out.
It felt crazy to be setting up our kit opposite a huge cliff face. We certainly have never fished anywhere like it. I tied up my rods and chose to fish with the chod rig. I expected the lake bed to be very rocky, and I needed a rig that would sit above the rocks even if my lead went through the gaps in them.
that's just landed right next to where we were seeing the fish earlier. So I'm feeling pretty confident with that rod. I'm gonna get this set on the rest and hopefully the carp move in.
Whilst I was casting my rods over to the far side, Carl was over there watching the rigs into the water, checking it was in the perfect place. He even saw some nice fish cruising around in the area. Carl had found some clearer areas of lakebed, so opted for a simple snowman rig with a lead clip setup. He also chose to fish a zig rig on his other rod in deeper water to try and intercept the fish which were moving up in the water column.
I saw the scales across its back as it came up and rolled over. I'm not sure how big it is yet, but I'm just so happy to be hooked into a fish from this incredible lake. Yes! We've got one in the net, and it's not a bad one.
Yeah, boy!
Pressure's off now. It's always so nice coming to incredible places like this, but there's always pressure to try and catch a fish, and we have got a nice one. Yes! When the stock of a lake is a bit of a mystery, not knowing what you're going to catch, the first bite is always very exciting. A beautiful mirror, and a linear at that. It took quite a bit of time getting the rod's position because of the lake bed being so varied and rocky. Not being able to actually get a rig presented was our worry, but Cole spotted the rig as it landed in the water. He could see the pop up, and I mean, it only took a few hours and this one came in and took it. What a nice mirror.
And yet more walking back round to back up the spot round here again.
Carl watched my rigs into the water and baited up with a small scattering of loose feed around the area. Whilst he was up on the cliff, he spotted more carp, and even a brightly coloured koi. Now I wouldn't mind seeing that one on the bank. The waiting commenced again, and whilst I sat behind static rods, Carl went off trying to stalk one on free-lined bread. Everything we tried was unsuccessful, and the fish just didn't seem to be in the mood for taking a bait. But the wildlife around the lake kept us very amused and occupied in the meantime.
I don't even know what this animal is. Welcome back to Carl's wildlife tour. We had little weasel things earlier, and now we have, I know what these are, sheep. And look at these beautiful little lambs. Run! Run! What a beautiful place though, look at this. Blimey.
Although today we've mainly been fishing to the far side where we've seen most of the carp cruising, I had noticed some bubbles coming up just a few feet away from the bank on our near side. It drops quite deep straight off the rod tip, so I'm going to give it a go fishing a rod there. It's going to be a lot easier to place this rod than the ones on the far side. Just hooking on a PVA bag, got a small snowman rig, simple hair rig. I'm going to drop that down there. Hopefully Big Bertha picks up my hook bait tonight, because I reckon...
Did you really just say Big Bertha?
She lives in the margin. Yeah, Big Bertha. That's her name. The big girl, Big Bertha.
Can't believe how you even cast a lead that far.
Yeah, I really needed my £3 Tesco rod for that. But like I say, Big Bertha lives down there. And so Carl and Alex set their eyes on Big Bertha, and over the next 3 months they tackled this huge reservoir.
That'll be a good bite if that rod goes.
Where did this storm come from?
It's not quite a storm, Alex.
Okay, where did this mild breeze come from? Got the fire on, the rods are still out, on the spot. I'm just hoping this wind calms down, because I wouldn't mind a nice night's sleep. And the storm brings the big fish.
Wow.
Beautiful little scaly one. And that wind's picking up again.
It is so windy out here.
Hope I actually get some sleep tonight. That wind's going to be howling against our brollies. Look at that though. Nice little mirror. Gonna get this rod back out on the spot. See if we can't get something a little bit bigger. See what the night brings. That Jodriggs has been doing the business.
Morning came without any more bites, and with time slowly running out, we were wondering how we could make the most of the last few hours of our session. We cooked some breakfast before having a change of tactics.
Oh my god, looks like a car crash.
Your egg is dribbling. How do you like your eggs in the morning, Axe?
Covering my hands. No! Why? This isn't fun. I just wanted to eat an egg.
We've woken up on the second day of our trip and the night wasn't particularly productive. I've gone for a walk around the far side and again there are fish cruising very near to the surface. Basically, what, that far beneath the surface or something? So, in these instances, we like to use what's called a zig rig. A zig rig consists of your lead sitting on the bottom. I've got that on a lead clip so I can easily change lead through the session. And then I have approximately 1 foot, 1.5 foot of 10-pound cruiser control line. That's basically line designed for surface fishing, so it's relatively buoyant, and that means it sits upright with a pop-up on the end. I've got a trimmed down pink pop-up, but you could use anything really, a bit of foam, buoyant corn even, anything that's quite light and floats in water. And that is a way of fishing away from the lake bed. We're going to cast probably all of our rods out. Maybe we'll leave one on a bottom bait, but we're going to switch most of them over to zig rigs and try and catch one of these fish that's cruising around near the surface.
After a screaming bite like that, you would have thought it would be a little bigger, but it was the first fish on the zig rig and we were feeling confident of another.
We've got another bite, and this is on one of the zig rigs that we cast out.
The fish quickly got stuck in some weed, so Cole ran down the bank to try and get a better angle on it.
Sometimes you can just let the line be a little bit slack, so you just don't pull so hard, you just give it a little bit of time. And the fish will like move around a little bit and just dislodge itself from the weed. I just got a glimpse of him. It's proper nice scaly. Yes! I got myself a bigger one. God, look at that. Oh, I'm so chuffed that eventually I managed to catch one that stands up to Alex's original fish that he caught at the beginning of this session.
It looks massive on here.
Well, it's probably not the biggest carp we've caught, but definitely one of the coolest, and 100% from one of the coolest locations that we've probably ever caught carp from. It got hard in the middle of this session and we really had to persevere through not really knowing what to do and how to figure it out. But we switched over to the zig rigs and this is the result. A beautiful, heavily scaled, chunky mirror carp. Awesome.
The quarry was such a cool place to go fishing at. If you'd like to watch another video where we go fishing at an incredible lake, click the video here. And if you want to learn how to catch carp, then click the playlist here for plenty of instructional videos. Cheers for watching, we'll see you guys soon.